Chinese threat actors have continued to exploit recent Ivanti Connect secure VPN vulnerabilities, using new malware to achieve persistence, Mandiant reports. The flaws were addressed on January 31, roughly 3 weeks after Volcity warned that Chinese threat actors were seen exploiting 2 of them as 0 days for initial access. Roughly 1 week later, Ivanti patched a 5th vulnerability in its enterprise VPN and network access products. Proof of concept, POC, code was published within days and attackers immediately started exploiting it. Following the patch rollout, attackers continued to exploit one of them, tracked as CVE 2024-21893 and described as a server-side request forgery, SSRF, vulnerability in the SAML component in Ivanti's enterprise VPN and network access appliances. The issue is, in fact, a bypass for the mitigations Ivanti announced in early January, when the first 2 0 days were disclosed. According to Mandiant, a Chinese threat actor tracked as UNC 5325 has been observed exploiting CVE 2024-21893 to deploy new malware families such as Little Lamb.wolt, Pitstop, Pitdog, Pitjet, and Pithook. Based on code overlaps, UNC 5325 appears linked to UNC 3886, a Chinese cyberspionage group previously observed exploiting vulnerable VMware products to compromise victim networks. UNC 3886 has primarily targeted the defense industrial base, technology, and telecommunication organizations located in the US and APJ regions. We are continuing to gather evidence and identify overlaps between UNC 3886 and other suspected Chinese espionage groups, Mandiant notes. UNC 5325, the cybersecurity firm notes, has been observed chaining CVE 2024-21893 and CVE 2024-21887, a command injection in Ivanti's products. Following initial access, the attackers performed reconnaissance and established a reverse shell. Mandiant observed the attackers deploying a variant of a web shell named Bushwalk that enabled them to read arbitrary files from the appliance, as well as employing modified open-source tools and built-in Ivanti system utilities to evade detection, demonstrating a nuanced understanding of the appliance. In some instances, the attackers used Spark Gateway plugins to deploy backdoors and persistently inject shared objects. Spark Gateway is a legitimate component of Ivanti's VPN appliance that provides remote access over the browser. One such Spark Gateway plugin, named PitFuel, was seen loading the shared object Little Lamb.wolt to deploy backdoors and persist across system updates, patches, and even factory resets. The persistence attempts, however, failed. Because the appliance had undergone at least one update since its initial deployment, the malware failed to persist through the factory reset as the encryption key of the factory reset kernel and the running version kernel were different, Mandiant notes. A second malicious Spark Gateway plugin, dubbed Pitdog, was seen injecting the shared object Pithook into memory and persistently executing the backdoor named Pitstop, which can execute shell commands and read and write files on the compromised appliance. UNC 5325 STTPs and malware deployment showcase the capabilities that suspected China Nexus espionage actors have continued to leverage against edge infrastructure in conjunction with 0 days. Similar to UNC 4841's familiarity with Barracuda ESGs, UNC 5325 demonstrates significant knowledge of the Ivanti Connect secure appliance as seen in both the malware they used and the attempts to persist across factory resets, Mandiant concludes.